Hello and good afternoon. It is stepladder time here at Lebanon, Route 66, Bolero or Bullmore. Bolmero. Long day. 8 games yesterday of qualifying, then 8 games of round robin match play. And we have the top 5 finally. And try to find this. Actually, the sheet that I need is the one where they qualified at. No, yesterday's qualifying. Anyway, Don Breeden is leading the top 5. He ended up being 690 over. And there we go. Don ended up being 6-2 in his match play. And then after that, it's Kevin Rothlev in second, and he is at 620 over. He ended up being 5-3. Third place is Doug Code, the only lefty in the field, and he split 4-4, but his scores are pretty good. He goes 13, 77, 56, 46, 58. Yeah, 58, 07, 14, and 65. So he might have gone 4-4, but he won the big games. His losses were 13, 46, and that was when he bowled Rafe Terry that shot 247 and shoots 07 and 14. So, yeah, it was either all or nothing for Doug Code. And in the opening match, it's going to be Brian Manini, who ends up going 4-4. He is at 557 over. And he'll be bowling Rafe Terry, who ended up shooting 257 the last game, 30 pins, gives him 87, makes him 515 over, and gets him in the cut. Rafe, you are welcome for being 5-0 against me. I didn't put up much of a fight. I could have shot 250. Not with my carry.
Also, Ryan, Rafe also jumped over 2 different people to get up to this spot.
I was going to say, because he was in 7th and bowled me, and I was in way down in 8th. I was like, and he rounded two people.
Brandon and David.
And David Kuchera. So, in fact, you, shut up. Happy to be here. You did that in Emporia. You shot 300 in Emporia and rounded a couple guys to make match play too.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you tell me, redoing the lanes, I don't think you want them redone because it's on 9 and 10. You were locked in.
I was cussing internally, maybe saying a few bad words when they got the lane machine out, but it would just have to deal with it.
Yeah. So, I don't know it. And we can talk about the tough carry because the first 6 games, everybody, my stat was 17 10 pins in 5 games. And of course, my doubles partner for National says, dude, that's entirely way too many 10 pins. Well, duh.
It's an average day.
It's an average day for everyone here. And then it was after game 5, game 6, they started opening up a little bit. 10 pins started carrying a little bit more, and then the scores just shot up.
Yeah, just a little bit more friction and had a little more drive through the back end, and yeah.
So how much did you see what I thought I realized that I was making the ball hydroplane, getting too much speed and not letting the ball read? Do you think a lot of people were doing that?
It was easy to do.
It was not hard.
You had the same thing I did. Suddenly we just start relaxing, letting the ball off our hand, and it would read the lane right. Didn't mean it was going to carry, but at least it'd give it a chance.
I think I made 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I had 3 ball changes through 4 different balls the first 5 games, and just I could get to the pocket, and I was in the same zone. And some people would say, well, you're in the wrong zone. No, that's just the way it was for everybody.
Yeah, I even tried to move in a little bit because I'm seeing my old Brian, and me trying to move in and throw it like Brian is just never ever going to happen.
Not when you're the ultimate spin biscuit.
That's right. That's right. My track, 3 of my tracks makes one of his. And
what is your PAP, by the way? I'm curious.
I'll have to look at it.
It's
I've got it
like
written
3 1/4.
down.
Something in the
No,
threes.
it's like 4 and a
4
half
1/4
by
Hey,
3
4 and a
quarter or
half.
something
Come on.
like that. I don't know. Two
Okay.
and an eighth.
Okay,
something.
so your tilt is about 80 degrees.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay,
yeah,
I'm just checking.
yeah. But it works.
It works.
That's what happens growing up. The little 8-lane center, old summer league, we oiled them twice in the summer
Yeah.
for our league back in the
Yeah.
70s. You had to learn to get it down the lane.
And the only way you could do it was almost. It's almost like the way the Japanese does that backspin.
Yeah. Not quite that bad, but
You're in the realm.
yeah. If I knew about that when I was in high school, I probably would have thrown it that way.
One of your balls in the 10th, when you let go of it, it was actually backspinning a little bit.
Oh, I can
and then,
get that
then it
thumb
tilted
hole
over.
up. I can get that thumb hole up right up there on the axis. Yeah.
Oh Lord! All right, well, so now it's going to be different because now you're bowling Brian Benini
Yeah.
on the fresh,
Yeah.
and so evidently you're not going to be able to throw the game breaker, or not the game breaker, but the
The breakout.
the old
Oh.
global breakout.
Yeah. It just always seems to work.
Okay.
So
Well, you're
We'll
5
see what
you're
you
5 and 0
never know
against
on
me,
the
so you're
fresh.
welcome. I gave
You
you the
just-
first good and finish.
Yeah.
I was your sandwich today.
yeah,
You started with me and ended with me.
that was it. So
That's the luck.
one of these matches you're gonna beat me, and then you'll say, "How'd you win?" He says, "Nobody beats Ryan Ragland 22 times in a row."
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, good luck, Rafe.
Thank you.
Oh, need to get. Actually, we're trying to get the banners kind of straightened up. Actually, hey, go down there and have Dan pull the front one on the approach. Hey, Dan.
Pull the front one on the approach. The front one on the approach. The front one on the
All right, we got that all set up. So once again, we want to say a huge thanks to all the sponsors this year for the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour. Obviously, Bowmore Lanes in Osage Beach and here in Lebanon. The season started there with the doubles and the singles. I think it was in August, and then ends here for the Invitational, which has been a really good turnout. Lisa Finley with Shoulder Insurance, then Lisa and Joe Finley with Finley Transportation in St. Joe, Berkey Turkey's Pro Shop in Revolutions Lanes. Ryan and Dan do a great job there. McCarthy Auto Group, sponsors of the title sponsors of the broadcast. They've stepped up, kind of outside their realm of doing a lot of high school stuff, but Carl Kramer, a friend of mine, said, "Hey, we'll give it a shot," and things seem to be working out pretty well. Face Designs, Jason Chris with the T-shirts and the banners and everything else, and of course Storm, Rotogrip, and 900 Global for everything they've done, the raffles throughout the year, and that's brought in the equipment and everything and added to the prize fund and stuff. So that's been pretty cool, and we should be getting started here real quickly as I put my second place finishing for my 230 lone 230. That was an actually decent game. And the other two, David Kuchera, missed by 4 pins, making the cut at 511, and then Brandon Leibel at 493. And yeah, I was like way down there, so we won't talk about that. I'm ready to get going. I say we go. I say we turn lanes.
Me too,
on and we
Ryan.
go.
I'm
Let's
ready.
go. And huge thanks to Clayton Loby, last couple days, giving the updates and everything. And
Of course.
keeps you out of trouble, I hear. Keeps you out of a little bit of trouble.
Some, yeah.
And then Lisa's over there. She's just kind of talking people's
We're
ear
getting into
off
it.
and not really saying much, but she does a lot of talking, and she's not even listening to me. I see Lisa Finley, and she doesn't even pay attention to someone's calling her name. But she helped out with the broadcast too the last couple of days with me bowling, so that was appreciative. And I say we get going. Ooh, are these for us? These muffins? Triple chocolate muffin. I say we get going. I'm ready to go. But if anyone wants to get on the Facebook page and get signed up, if you as soon as you turn 50, you're eligible. And I think we start back in Osage Beach at Bullmore Lanes. And I think it's going to be the doubles and the singles again. And I'm not sure how much of the schedule has been set, but and I think do what? Oh, yeah. Get Brian over here if he wants to say something. He probably doesn't want to. he dropped enough
So we
F-bombs
got-
today, the frustration, but he still made it. So I don't know. He might.
Things to do. Brian, so
I don't know.
with the
Go ahead.
oil getting fresh, what do you think about this?
I think you're kind of happy to see the fresh again. You're
I'm
ecstatic.
I'm happier than I was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, me and you bowled 11 at 12, and that pair.
Yeah, 5 and 6 wasn't
That
any
p-
better.
Well, I bowled on 5 and 6 game 7, and it was more consistent on that pair for me than 11-12 was on game 6.
Yeah, I had the same issue on 5 and 6 that I did 11, 12. This 5 was tighter, but you couldn't get a good angle to get the 10 out. So it was like strike every time on 6, and then I kept moving. I moved like 7 boards the last game just to try to on lane 5 just to try to get the 10 out.
So you keep pin pal, correct?
Yeah.
You do pin. So what was your 10 pin count? Because that's
Oh,
what I'm kind of curious.
I don't know. I didn't look at it. I don't know. I didn't. Wasn't
Because
that many.
everybody was like scratching their head on just trying to carry, and it was,
I left looks like 11 10 pins.
wow, you're
in
my
8
hero.
games.
You're my hero. But yeah, I mean,
You can add my 4 pins in there. That will compensate for it because got to the point where it's
and
like
you were pretty good early on the fresh too.
yeah,
so-
yeah. I had
And
a
I
good
think I
look.
know which ball you're going to bring out
I
too.
think so too.
I
Yeah.
think the reality check's coming back into play.
Yeah, the reality check looked good early. I didn't even throw it yesterday. And,
Dummy.
Yeah, I know. Of course, I didn't have a game over 230 yesterday either. So
You really?
yeah. Well, no, that's a lie. I had 249, and everything else was 235 or less.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just so hard to get the right angle to the pocket. You know, you miss in a little bit, you hit the oil, you're going to leave a 10 pin or
Yeah.
something. You hit the dry too soon, and it's going through the nose. Or
If you pulled in and,
4 pin.
and hit the pocket and carried, you're going, okay, thank you, I'll take that
yes,
one.
exactly.
Because there's a lot of times you get it right and it looks flush and it doesn't carry. And
Yeah,
okay.
It's Sunday, so I thank the Lord.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say game 6. You pretty much were thinking you probably weren't gonna. The look, at least the look you had on 11-12, you were like probably no.
No, the last 3 games I was a little. Last 4 games actually, I was a little on the.
The Delphi
my
side.
positive thinking had left the building for a bit. So,
That's right. I dropped some F-bombs too. It's what we do.
oh man.
All right.
Thank you, Ryan.
And
Good luck.
plus you're going up against Rafe, and he's like 5-0
Yeah.
against me the last 5.
Yeah, I got a Doug issue like that. So. We'll see. Gonna have to meet all of them to get through there today. So.
There you go. All right, well, we'll get going here in a little bit, and
Okay.
I'm gonna delve into this triple chocolate muffin. I mean,
It looks pretty good. It does.
triple chocolate's got to be good. So we get the lanes on. So I guess we're gonna, yeah, we'll just take a quick break until they get the lanes on. I guess we're gonna get started here in a couple minutes, and we'll get started with match play. So I just pull up the comments. Typical Doug, all or nothing. BJ Odell says, "Hey Rave," and David Axon says, "Throw it better." Thanks, Dave. Font should always be. I know, Dave. I mean, it's, yeah, it could be. I mean, there's arguments either side. There's no book of absolutes, but David thinks they should always be on fresh. But yeah, Rafe got done on 9 and 10 and shoots 250. He wasn't hating life, and he wasn't crossing, but maybe 5 boards. So yeah. And then C&M Collectibles said they'll be there in 7 months. Well, get in here, son. I need to see. I know Manini's still on the reality check. I think Rafe's going to throw the Eternity. He had that one out early. He was throwing that earlier. And then he goes lefty. And he still can't carry. You still
Backup
can't
ball.
carry left-handed.
That was a beautiful backup ball.
I can throw a better ball left-handed, just not consistent. Oh, that was his backup. Okay.
Yeah, that's backup.
Okay, so the Eternity is Brian's ball.
He's not actually
And
going to
Rafe's
do it like that.
Rafe's still throwing the old 900 Global breakout. And it's amazing with that spin, with that roll, how he gets it to move that much. So drop us a line if you're watching, and let us know you're there, where you're from, who you're watching, anybody particular. Make sure you hit the like button. That kind of helps with biometrics or whichever. And our next broadcast will be, oh, before I forget, well, let me see if I can get this to work. Did this yesterday and it didn't quite. See if I can pull a. Let me see if I can get a scoreboard up there, because my other camera, for whatever reason, wouldn't come up. So. contrast with the colors don't work out that well, but at least I can try to get something up there. There we go. We can get a look, some kind of get it zoomed in a little bit. Hopefully the colors won't black out too much. We can get an idea of what the scores are doing.
How's that muffin?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Rafe has a pretty good look.
If I owe anything for the muffin, let me know. That triple chocolate's pretty good. Okay. Okay.
I think she just took your money that you won.
That's more than I won for my 230. So Brian Manini and Rafe Terry, and this is basically going to be. It'll be interesting to see what the carry's like again on the fresh.
Brian
I think
Manini
Brian's
has
going to do what he can to keep his angles down. Because if you got it right, I really didn't try to change my hand position that much, so I'm not sure, but I do know that when I kept my angles close, I had a better chance. So I think Brian's decided to start first.
Brian Jordan in the comments saying congratulations to the top 5.
They carried.
They did carry indeed.
So when these two bowled, whoop, wrong one. It was in the second game, and Brian Manini defeated Rafe 236 to 226, and that was pretty early.
Looked like he was making a statement with that strike.
I'll tell you what, that reality check, that's a pretty good ball on fresh, and if I, for whatever reason, they discontinued that ball, and I'm definitely going to give me at least one, if not two more. Yeah, the ball's too good.
David with
Right,
a solid 10.
That's indicative, especially with that spin.
Rafe.
The ball goes to make the push, and it starts to make the move, and it just doesn't have enough to complete the turn.
Rafe makes that 10 pin.
Hey, I'm lucky if I shot 230. Get over here. Get over here. Let me say that real quick. You gotta have a seat, Mr. Kuchera.
You know I don't like this.
I know you don't like it, but guess what? Your wife wants to hear you. I'm sure she does. But this was today was it. I mean, the angles were similar, but man, the reaction mid-lane was totally different.
Well, I thought they started on a lot tighter
Yeah,
towards the outside.
you're just trying to get the ball to tilt right.
Yeah, right.
That was
Yeah.
the key.
Just like this match here. And Brian's going to be hard to handle since
Yeah.
they redid lines.
He's gonna keep his angles closed
Yeah.
up a little bit, and Rafe's gonna have to probably slow down a pinch to try to get the ball to read. But it was interesting on how.
I love this format.
Yeah, it's fun.
I think it's fun.
My actually my left arm is actually sore because when I get set, I set all the weight of the ball in my left hand, so I I keep that free swing. My left arm's like we're not doing this for a while. But yeah, with that shot there, if when Manini can, I call it jamming it. When he can jam the shot against the shim.
Yeah. I bowled him in the first match and he shot 240 right away. And
Yeah, that's what he does. Now now to see the angle, he's actually popped that one a little bit more and slowed the speed down. So I wonder if that's why he decided to start first, so he could, because he feels better, more forward on the right lane.
I think this is the pair that Ray bowled in the last 2 games on, and
He was not too thrilled
when they redid them.
when they were going to redo him. He bowls me on this pair and he shoots 250. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you were pretty happy with it. And the pin action Rafe gets with that high tilt it's interesting. You don't see that a lot. Okay, and I'll ask you this. Our good buddy David Axon chimed in and said finals should always be on fresh. That's his opinion.
I tend to agree with that.
Okay. The guys that bowled better when they broke down will say no, and the guys that bowled better when it was fresh will say yes.
That's right. I mean,
There's no book of absolutes. It's
no, somebody's gonna like it better than somebody else, and that's just the way it is.
I don't know how. Hey, you can kind of tell what the score's like. Yeah, the smashed ones I left here. Thanks a lot. You threw about 3 or 4 different balls today,
Yes.
if I remember right.
Uh-huh.
Because I knew you threw the hustle a little bit,
Yeah,
that wine hustle.
That didn't work quite as well as yesterday.
No, that was your go-to. That was your
Yeah.
moneymaker yesterday.
Mhm.
And then you threw the face 5.
Yeah, that looked really good the last 2 games.
Yeah. And then
Actually, the last 3 frames against Rafe in Game 6, I said I got to do something different, and because I knew I was going back to 11 and 12, and that pair was
on fire.
yes.
It was
Then once it moved in, really, it just opened it wide up.
right. What else did you end up throwing?
Oh, I tried that Cosmos a little bit to start with.
Yeah, that's right. You did have that out.
Just an IQ tour.
And that's the only difference on the tilt, trying to get the ball to push through. That's where it helps Rafe getting that big friction spot down lane. He can just throw it the same way and get the ball to just tilt in a little bit. And you were just, what, 4 pins I think it was?
4 pins. I left a 10 pin on the. I knew I had to have it in the 11th and last game. I just had to match Rafe what he did in the 10.
Right.
If he threw 1 strike, I needed 1. If he threw 2, I needed 2. And he got 2, and I got 1. So.
Yeah. Well, and your spare conversion is pretty money, so you really can't even.
Yeah, I know.
That's not even an issue hardly. Just can't get that push.
Yeah, I just hate missing 10 pin or any single pin, and
Yeah.
I don't think I missed a single pin the whole 2 days. So.
I'd have to look. I know I missed 1 10 pin. Yeah, I think I was 18 of 19. I missed the 7-pin because I just got tired toward the end and mentally frustrated. That might just put the demise on the match right there.
Yes.
Well, let's see. When the opponent's got the front 5 and you go spare, spare, double, spare, spare, that might solidify it anyway. He's a big lugging show off. So your plans for the summer? No bowling?
Oh, I bowl in the summer league, so
Yeah, I got talked into one on Tuesday night. Quick
know,
4-game. Friend won the wrong. All right.
probably no tournaments till
Yeah.
August.
Me and my son are gonna break his game down to step 1 and get him fixed up. So that's our project for the summer. He said it was the first time. I can't remember when, but it was first time for God knows how long he's averaged under 200. So there's a high frustration factor going on. So now that they reoiled the lanes, you got Doug Code, the only lefty.
Yeah.
It's not gonna bother him too much.
No, because I think he started off well today, I think.
Well, his I was looking at his sheet. Yeah, he was pretty he was pretty much like all or nothing. His winning games was 77, 56, 58, and 65.
Yeah,
Losing games
yeah, but only
were
two.
13, 46, 07, 14. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. Actually, I'm going to take this little bad boy here.
Oh,
Move it over there. All right. Hey,
got a little wide.
at least I can get to 10. I can't, once in a while I get to 11, can't get to 12, at least I can get to 10. So, so Brian's a failure. I can say that. So I got to think on the fresh and Brian being able to get 9 and 10 pretty well where he likes it. I think the next match ought to be kind of interesting. Okay, was it me or did that ball stop?
Yeah, just kind of.
It kind of looked like it
Yep.
just dead stopped. What, you can't, I was going to say, you can't get past 8? Okay. So Rafe's going to finish in 5th, and then he's going to have about a long 5-hour drive like you do, getting back to Larned. Now it carries. So you're going to have to tell the wife, now that you finally got to meet her in Reno, you're going to have to tell her she's going to have to come down for a couple tournaments now. She's going to have to make an appearance.
Oh, she will.
Okay. I'm going to have to get her down here.
Hey, look
Hey,
at that money
woo,
coming for you.
woo, woo. Hey, I'm in money. I don't know about how much money, but at least I'm in the money.
That's always the first objective.
Yeah. Huh? And I do have to say thank you. I would think I was like 44th in points or something because I didn't bowl some of the stops. So I do have to say I do appreciate all the people that were ahead of me that didn't bowl, that allowed me to get in here to make this minor profitable excursion out here. So I do appreciate that. As they say, you take advantage of the situations when they approach themselves.
That's right.
Now he gets the tumbler. So Rafe's going to finish in fifth place. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And Brian Manini and Doug Cody is going to be next. And Dave, thanks for good seeing you again.
Yeah, always
It's
good to see you.
We saw a lot of each other
Oh,
in the last month.
month.
Walking through Reno, I was like, hey, I know that guy. So have a good trip back, and we'll see you in August.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back in a little bit on
Thanks,
the
Ryan.
North Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour.
So when Brian Manini and Doug Code went against each other, it was 206 to 258. So we will see. And Brian won that.
A couple months ago, Doug, I don't know if you know Mike Peters. Top notch.
I'm sorry, Doug won that game.
He's getting
258 to 206. So we'll see if Brian can make up for that. If he shoots anywhere his last game, he'll be able to win. Doug's starting off strong. Brian also starting off strong again in the second game. There's a double for Brian.
Alrighty. Back here with Doug Code and Brian Manini and talking to Dave Kachur a little bit while Clayton kind of got us into the match. So I thought this is going to be an interesting one. It's especially with Doug being the only lefty, so his fresh look isn't going to be a whole lot different than what he's seen. I know he was throwing the Zen Master earlier, thinking maybe throwing the Infinity Physics, but yeah,
I think it's going to come down to the wire.
Well, his look isn't going to be that much different. It's just going to be depending on if he can carry.
Almost carried.
Because we know Manini will. Then the winner of this match will take on Doug Rufflove. And then after that, it will be Don Breeden, the tournament leader.
Kevin and Don are over there practicing.
Do what?
I said Kevin and Don are over there practicing.
Yeah, they're just getting loose. In fact, they reran the lanes down there too. So
they did.
And these are not HPLs. They may look it, but these are not HPLs. The only other place, if these are the ones I'm thinking of, Junction City Bowl may have the same type planes. These are not HPLs, but they're a high friction. They act a little bit like HPLs, and after you get X amount of traffic, you can actually see just with the glare where the traffic's been. Unlike with the Anvil Pros, you really can't see it that well. You have to get pretty close to ground level. See, now you can't even get past 2. Which one?
Right lane's getting a little weird. Pushes a little further and then doesn't make the turn, or it starts to read a little early if you stay right. So,
Gotcha. So it's kind of playing,
yeah, it's got a little crisscross thing.
kind of playing a little bit like match play now. So Brian says he's actually seeing a little bit of push on the right lane, and I don't know if I from what I experienced, I would go ahead and just stay the same lane, the same spot, but just instead of trying to get it to recover from it, just not accelerate through the swing. See what he ends up doing. Yeah, he's popping out. He's trying to get the roll because he was seeing a little push, and then he might have overdone it. So Doug Code on a double spare double, and Brian Manini on a double spare strike spare. I know it's kind of hard to tell with the score. Not sure why, but my other camera wouldn't come through on the computer, so I got to get a new caption card for it. So at least got a little bit of something up there. And with the only man being on that side, that could go to his benefit. Smash, smash. Time to get on the giddy up, Brian. Four bagger for Code. And Manini working on a strike.
That's a double for Manini.
Well, that one he didn't pop it as much as what I think it might would have been what he did last frame on that one.
It's down 20 in the 7th.
There's a good one.
-10.
Brian needed that one big time. Doug walks up and double packs this one. It could be a bad situation for Manini. Where Manini right now, 259 on the punch out, 79 for Code. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hold the horses. That ball off his hand was dead left. That just changed the whole complexion of the situation.
Now Brian's going to have to make up for this to come back here.
So now on a strikeout, 241 for Doug Code, 259. So 18 pin, all of a sudden an 18 pin lead for Brian Manini. That's how quick that can change. And that always happen. For whatever reason, have a mental mistake or something, or just a brain cramp, and you throw a ball like that, and then you walk up next and you pure it, and you're just like, what happened? And Doug Code at one point was leading the match play. Yeah, he was leading it after 5 games. Excuse me. Yeah. 36. So I think the first one. I think he needs the first one to shut him out. Ooh. Yep, needed that one. Got it short. So 238 on the spare strike for Manini. It's going to force a double for Doug. I'm pretty sure Brian was just going to get the first one, the 10th. Might have cut off his thumb or something the way he was looking down at it. Yeah, taking a piece of tape out of the thumb hole. And I'll tell you what, that's when you're throwing the ball well and you've got to feel it. Sometimes it's hard to take a piece of tape out of the thumb hole with the confidence that you're, unless it's really tight, that you're still going to get through it. He's going to pure this one. Happens every time. Now he's talking to himself. Why didn't I take the tape out earlier? So when did you think about the tape?
The fate?
The tape you took out? Were you thinking about that, or?
It's hot in here, and there's no
Yeah.
air coming out of any of those, so yeah,
Okay.
it's not. It's just it is what it is. It just
I didn't know if that was like a couple frames ago. He got that one left again.
shocking.
Yeah, it got it. If you're down on the low end, if you're down the low end, you have a hurricane breeze with cool air blowing right on you. You get in the middle.
See if you can keep this on target.
Yeah, he needs this one for the win. That's right. He got pulled it.
And you missed it.
partially. He pulled that thing as far right as he got it left on the washout. So Brian Manini gets a reprieve. And it's going to be in the 220s for Doug Code. He's going to finish 4th. So we'll take a timeout, be back with a semifinal match
Against
with
Kevin Rothrow.
Rothrow and Manini. And we'll be back in a couple minutes. Alrighty, we are back, and it is Kevin Rothliff and Brian Manini. And Manini is now seeing the ring 10s that we were saw earlier today. And Dennis Rothliff, the pro shop owner here at Route 66, Bullmore Lanes. Not sure what he's gonna. He was throwing the the Blue Pearl 3D offset late in the match play. Not sure what he's throwing this time. IQ Tour maybe? I think that's what he was throwing yesterday through qualifying. And I think we have the transition happening, at least on the left lane. That's two solid shots with ring 10s. Wish I could go back again and kind of redo and try what I was thinking before, and I'll have to remember that when the ball's finishing in it, but you're leaving 10 pins, try, just relax the hand and just off the speed a little bit and let it read. That's the only thing I can think of. Well, I got to think Brian Manini's thinking that transition the way kind of look back walking off the approach. Now he's starting to pop it. See what he does on the left lane. I don't know if
He threw a little bit.
I don't think that was the reality check again. Trying to see what it looks like coming off the. No, that's something else. Made a ball change. And I'll tell you what, I left some shots. If I hit that line, I couldn't get the light shots to carry very much. I think I left the whole weekend. I had like 5 blower 7s that stood up.
He's throwing this ball a lot tighter towards the 10 pin and a little bit more wider angle on the outside.
Well, that's a transition. What are you throwing now?
Accidente.
Was it?
IQ Tour, solid.
Oh, okay.
An IQ Tour solid.
So he's throwing pin down to get the ball into a tumble quicker. David Gutierrez checked in, and he said it took me the whole interview, by the way, you and DK, to figure out how to get on here and say anything. I would see you at one of the next tournaments. Try to privately say hi to Dave for me, and then Dave Axon says hi. So yeah. Oh, it's his wife Nancy. Gotcha. All right, Nancy, we missed you out here, girl. We'll see. You need to come down for a tournament. So, I was gonna say I didn't think Dave left because he's riding back with. Yeah,
Dave's right here.
he's riding back with Don Breeden. So 4-bagger for Manini. Yeah. So 10-pin advantage for Manini right now off the ball change. I'm thinking Kevin's throwing the IQ Tour also. He actually went 5-3 in match play. He goes 69-67 back to back, game 6 and 7, so that really catapulted him up, and that because no one else is. That's about when the scores started coming up, and then he just had a hiccup on 11 and 12 that just really blew up. Yeah, but that way just got too far right. So leaves the 2-pin. As I said, the next tournament will be in August. And it'll be at Osage Beach at Bullmore Lanes. We'll have the doubles on this Saturday and the singles on the Sunday.
Solid 10 for Brian Manini in the 7th and the 6th.
That's the big break.
He was
Sorry
not
about that.
happy
I'm
about
trying to cheer my son up real quick.
He was not happy about that. So 2-8-10 or 4-8-10. I'm sorry. 2-8-10. Almost actually had it. That just changed the whole game with the open in the 7th by Kevin.
No, I had to answer a text back from my son. He was bowling in Hutchinson, Kansas, for an adult youth tournament with my grandson. And he goes 170, 170, 170. He says dumpster fire at its finest. He says there could be 15 board difference between the two lanes, and I wouldn't be able to tell. So I had to send him a gift. Had to send him a gift of the $6 million man, where they're going. We have the technology. We will fix him. Hopefully he gets the joke and it cheers him up a little bit. Man, he's
Brian's going to make up on that.
On that move there,
Open.
he moved way in. So after the qualifying and the match play, he's not even wanting to get it right. There's hold in the inside, so he just moved everything in, and he's just playing it down lane and just getting it to set up. He's not even looking at trying to get it right. Except you got to make sure you get it right. And that was not it. But he's still going to have a 37 pin lead, so he's not too bad off.
Yeah, that open in the seventh really hurt Kevin.
Yeah.
Now an open in the ninth for Brian.
Now he can still finish it. So 241 possibility. That turned everything around. What was I looking? I was looking wrong numbers. My bad. I was looking at the 68 and 51 instead of the 87. I was looking at 88 on the 8th compared to 7th, so that was my fault.
Wow.
That you did not see hardly at all this weekend. You really didn't have scouts that did that. So a 226 max for Brian Manini. And so even just a 9-count spare. Nine spare strike would be the win, or 9 spare count. Uh-oh. Wow.
He missed so bad he made it.
Take the gift and run. Say, thank you, sir. May I have another? And that's and for Kevin, he's like, that's not how I wanted to do it, but you got a $1,500 first place that, that could have been the first ball in the 10th, but even then on the 9-count spare, 9 count and spare and count. I'll get it out.
And that's going to do it for this game.
So Kevin Rotlove moves into the final match with Don Breeden. And we'll be back here in a little bit with the final match on the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour here at Lebanon, Missouri.
And your third place finisher is Brian Manini.
Alrighty, we are set for the finals. $1,500 to the winner. After 8 games of qualifying, 8 games of round robin match play, and this has been the how the whole year has been for match play for this tournament. And I wish I kept the step ladder from all the other tournaments, but it's hard pressed to find a step ladder where somebody won more than one game. So this is what we had here. Manini won 2 games, defeated Rafe, defeated Doug Code, so he won the 2 matches. But generally, not too many people win 2 matches in match play this year. Just the way it's been working out. That ball came back from a long way. Don Braden. And Don Braden goes 6-1. I almost had him. Almost had him in my match. No, actually, I did beat him. I was one of the 2 that beat him. That's my saving grace this weekend. But he goes 6-2 in match play. Can I ask a question? Why is the USFL making these guys play in empty-ass dome stadiums? I mean, really? Come on.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Hasn't Don won 3 of these in the tour?
He's won a number. He's at least 2.
He's won 3 in this tour.
Has it been 3? Yeah, I knew he won 2 for sure. I should have a list, and I need to start doing that. Actually, I need to take the list. Dan will give me a new list for next year, and then I'll keep track of all the finals. Nice shot, Brian. Breen goes spare strike. Can't tell. Yeah, can't tell what he's throwing. Just another black ball. I'm not going to go down and ask him, but. So the double by Rothlow, and that'll put him up 10 pins. Not going to say too much during the match, just going to kind of let this one go. Wow.
Wow. What a messenger.
The head pin bypasses the 9, says, oh, by the way, take that. Smacks her on the backside.
This pair is also the high game pair of this tournament.
No,
Not?
no.
The high game was on there.
15-16 was. Breen gets locked in.
I know Brandon shot a 290 on this pair today.
Okay, then it was.
Uh-huh.
I'll take it back then. I go 88 on 15 and 16, so I will take that back.
You got 88?
Little bastard had to beat me by 2 pins for game high, for tournament high game. Smack him around. Yeah, he didn't get out of that one very well.
He went 8 spare. Strike.
He was needing that one too. And I thought that was going to be a saving grace, and then Rafe comes up with his 250.
It's a good spare by Don.
He did. You're a smarty pants. I won't give you credit for it, but you're correct.
Rotho was perfect through 3.
If he can double here, that's going to put a lot of pressure. If he gets,
That's perfect through 4.
we'll just say that Kevin Rothlow has a lot of games in this house. So who did? Breeden? I wouldn't doubt they probably made a lot of money. Yeah? About that? More smarty pants facts. Yeah, 9 pin says, yeah, not this time. He got that one in just a pinch. So the left lane, from what Brian was saying about the breakdown on the right lane, it may seem the left lane might be a little bit breaking down a little bit more, and the right lane has a little bit of a hold to it.
So Kevin was perfect for 4, and 9 spare. Don's 9 spare, strike 8 spare.
He got through that one a lot better. That was a lot big difference between the left lane. Usually you can just watch Don's reaction the first 30 feet. Sometimes Don breeding can be like a machine. It gets old and it gets sickening, but you have to admire it. That was a harsh 10 pin right there, making it back-to-back spares.
That 9 pin, oh my gosh.
My goodness. So he backdoors a 9 pin on
And
the
he
left
stuns
lane. The 9 pin stands up again, and then he leaves another 9 pin.
I think that 9 pin came off the ground.
Wow.
Just a little bit.
That was vicious. Well, but the other thing is, and I'll have to ask him. It seems like the left lane is breaking down a little bit more, and if that's what's happening, that ball's making a hard charge to the pocket, and there's just so much power blowing right by the 9 pin. Not a lot you can do about that.
I don't even think you can move after that shot.
Now, and Don Breen's just salivating right now. He wants nothing better than to get a double right here, or get 2 in a row, or throw back-to-back strikes, and there's one of them. See your opponent struggling just a little bit. The only thing you want to do is walk up there and throw 2. Yep, just didn't like the feel. That's a big shot for Don. This is really take a man on this one.
Yeah, if he strikes here, he takes the lead. There it
That's
is.
pretty flush. So 268 possibility on the punch out for Breeden. .257 for Rothlev. So I don't want to say mandatory, but he's got to have these two if he's going to have a chance. One more and that theoretically. Yeah, that one he got out early. Just a pinch early. So after starting out with a 4-bagger, catching a huge break, backdoor in the 9-pin, Kevin Rothlev goes 4 9 counts in a row, 2 of them 9 pins. And, ooh.
Almost missed that one.
That was too close. That's why I reserved judgment of saying what I was going to say.
This is a big shot for him.
246 if he strikes out. He's got to get this one. That's way right. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding? How in the world? That's not even. That's not even. I don't think I've ever seen someone go a high 8 or a high 9-10 like that. That's wow.
I don't even think he can believe it,
Wow.
to be honest.
That's sick.
Very good pickup by Kevin.
That's absolutely sickening. All right, Troy. Backdoor's a 9, 9-pin, 9-pin, and then 9-10 in the door. What's going on?
Crazy. Wow. I don't know what to say. Just wow.
Well, and Kevin's over there behind 1 and 2. I think if there was a little bit more room in the door there, I think he would have gone outside for a little bit.
He'd have been right out in the parking lot.
And you can blame him.
Oh, for sure.
By the way, real quick, thanks for everything you've been doing for the tournament, for the hosting this one, beginning of the year, everything that you put into the tournament. It's been huge, and I know a lot of guys have come up and told you thanks for what you're doing.
Absolutely. It's been great. You know, we look forward to a long relationship with the tournament for sure. It's a good.
Plus, we start back in August in Osage Beach.
Right back here, yeah.
I'm gonna try to at least make the doubles next year. I hadn't done it, but I got to do it.
Right on.
Well, thanks again, Troy.
Oh, thank you very much.
And Don Breeden, that's gonna solidify it for him. And man, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. So Breeden's going to finish out 57. How much you want to bet? I got takers. I got 5 to 1 that Kevin punches out. He punches out right here. So Don Breeden with the Invitational win. We'll get with Don here in a little bit after Kevin gets done. Wow. No, it's all right. Let Kevin finish his game. Yeah. Yep. Dan, have you ever seen anything like a smashing 9-10 after back-to-back smashing 9 pins after a backdoor trip 9 pin?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't understand that. That's be worth getting his comment on that for sure.
I guess that. Kevin Rothlev with a second place. This is going to be interesting to get with Kevin after. We'll give it to you when you get done. We'll give Kevin the cool down time. Don Breeden with the win, and I'll backdoor 9, smash 9, smash 9, smash 9, 10. You can't. Literally, that's something you rarely or have ever seen that before.
Oh no. 9-10s in the pocket. I mean, it's very, very rare. Yeah. But he has a lot of hand.
Yeah.
A lot of cut.
Difference from yesterday to the round robin today. That a lot of people was just that Kerry was hard to come by.
Sure.
And it. All you had to do was bowl the one game and just kind of broke down for you nicely.
Yeah, I started with urethane this morning, something real old layout I've used for many, many years, and just wanted to keep it around the pocket because I knew they'd be a little touchy, a little snappy at the beginning like they were yesterday, just a touch for a while. And I stayed with it, probably one game too long, but I did manage to get through the game and win. And then I was trying to use a different ball, but I had a different brand of tape in it. When I pulled it all out, it was just nothing but adhesive, and it took forever to get it out of there. So I should have had it a game before, but I got it eventually. And then it's not real strong, but stronger than the urethane. So it was enough just to get me a little more striking capability.
Yeah, I was crossing with Dave Kuchar yesterday, and we were talking about just staying clean, and then that's what he was doing. And me personally, I was trying, but I was getting. You kind of get in that habit of trying to get that little extra when you see it.
No question.
But that's kind of like how the round robin was. You just needed to stay clean, even though you weren't carrying.
And I bailed out a couple of games in the 10th, 9th and 10th to get 60 there, and the other people were just a little less fortunate, didn't carry, and I did, and I'd sneak in the back door. But the 9th and 10th is always critical in match play. It can change everything real fast.
Well, when you go 6-2 in match play, that kind of helps you a little bit.
Yeah, and I didn't really shoot anything big. I was just, I didn't have many opens. Just usually like my normal work, just 9 or a strike, just stay with it. And like I said, I probably used that ball one game too long, but in the first 2 games, it was just perfect. It was just what I needed. And we're also bowling on almost a new rack of pins, so that changes the carry factor completely. I mean, you don't get to play rock'em sock'em on the new pins. You got to hit them pretty flush. Flush is better. Let's put it that way. Don't take if you trip before or you rattle them off the wall. I mean, you get pretty lucky. Yeah, you take every one you get and don't say a word. Walk away from it and hope you don't get stuck with it, because there were a lot of Swiss 710s. One of the guys that I crossed with yesterday just left it all day. Yeah. If you get, and like I said, it wasn't good to really cut it late. Late would do that a lot. So I never got into. I probably got in deeper yesterday than I have in a really long time down here. I don't know if I've ever been that deep really, but it broke down enough and it would turn the corner enough. And I wasn't using a super reactive ball, but nothing super aggressive. Just mild flaring and just keep it around the front two. And it had enough movement that it was knocking them out. I carried a lot of light hits. I was really shocked because it was a lighter ball, too, and I don't normally throw them. But the lighter one seemed like it deflected better and actually carried better.
Well, worked out good. Congratulations on the win. Invitational. We'll see you after the summer.
That's right. All right. Have a good summer.
All right, you too. Don Breeden with the win. And I don't know, this kid. You want to talk, Kevin? I mean, this is... I believe it. I mean, dude. I mean, the backdoor 9. I'm sitting there going, "There's a break. That's a break." 9 pin said, "No, not this time." Right. Okay, that's fine. FU 9 pin.
Yep.
Okay,
Again.
I'm going to take out the back, and then it says, "Oh no, we're going to have a party."
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Believe it or
just
not, the 910 is an adjustment off of just the 9. I cheated left because I've been leaving them. Thank you, 910.
I don't know. I can't remember
That's the wrong adjustment.
that might have been the wrong attitude too.
Yeah.
But it was, you start off with a 4 bag, you got to be feeling good, and you're
Yeah,
bowling
Don's
Don
not
Bree.
going- he's not going away.
Yeah, you're going to have to throw a big game at him. That's just what he does, especially when you. I don't want to say just fresh. You can sit there and have what we had at the end of the match play. You still know if he catches it just right, he's going to go 240, 250.
You just got to count on him not striking every time, and then striking a few times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew Don was going to shoot something. So once I left 2 9-pins, I was like, I got to have them all now.
Yeah. I like I told Don, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. And the bad thing is we have it on video. So if you want to go back and watch, I don't know if you will or want to.
I saw it.
You saw it up close and personal.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, great bowling this whole weekend, and nice job.
Thank you.
And there's the second place, Kevin Rotlove. And I'll get with Dan here real quick. After as they're sitting there talking. I want to say a huge thanks to all the sponsors, Lisa and Joey Finley, Transportation, Lisa Finley with Shelter Insurance, Bullmore Lanes and Osage Beach, also here at Route 66 here in Lebanon, Storm Rotogrip and 900 Global. Plus I have Berkey's Turkish Pro Shop at Revolutions Lanes, McCarthy Auto Group. Huge thanks to Carl Kramer and them for what they did, and Jason Chris with Face Designs for all their help, and Troy with Bullmore Lanes has already said that he's going to be back and keeping it going again. And we'll get Dan up here, and I can say this is a culmination to a pretty good year of tournaments.
Oh yeah, we had. It was a lot of fun. I don't know why I'm so emotional about these things, but I mean it's a lot of hard work, but I really enjoy it. And this year we had 13 regular tour stops, and then this was the 14th stop, the Invitational. And Troy, talked to me early in the year about once he purchased this center, he said, let's do something in Lebanon. And I was like, well, normally we're done in April and stuff. I said, well, we could do something in May. And then we talked, and I said, okay, how about an invitational type format for the top 32 bowlers and stuff. And so we did, and it all came together. And oh yeah, it couldn't have been any better. I mean, really, good quality bowling, a lot of good bowling yesterday, and just the sponsorship really helps, makes these events happen, and makes them where the entry fee is reasonable, and the payout is really good, so guys can afford to come down and do it. And the support of the senior bowlers on our tour is incredible. We have bowlers from Omaha, from Des Moines, the Kansas City area, Arkansas come up. I mean, we had a couple guys from Memphis come up and said next year they're going to come to more. So we get bowlers from they drive quite a distance to bowl our tournaments, and so it really says something about what I'm trying to do. And I really try and run a quality event. It was me and Scott's idea. This is our 5th year, and when we started doing this, we said we're going to do it, and we're going to do it right. And that's why we don't bowl, because I want to run a really good quality tournament. Right. And so we don't bowl them, and we just run them and let everybody else bowl, and we try and have fun.
And I'll tell you, and this is from my aspect, and I've told a bunch of people about it. Everyone that comes and bowls it, it's, I want to say like a big family, because it's a lot of the, like 80-90% is the same people. Yep. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone has fun. There's no animosity toward anyone. Everyone knows, if they if something needs to change, they just go talk to them or whatever. Everyone's courteous, and it's just that just makes that big ball better.
Absolutely. I think I looked in the points list. We had probably 35 bowlers bowl at least 12 events. Only missed one event out of the whole year. I mean, I think I had about a dozen that bowled every one of them, and I had over 100 different bowlers bowled at least one event this year. And so we're up in the 50 50 bowlers per event, so it makes a nice event, makes a good event. The one-day tournaments run really well. Everybody likes the one-day event and the structure, and it's just really good. It's really good for everybody.
Well, congratulations on another good year, and we'll get this going again in August.
Yep, we're right back down here in August. The last weekend of August, we're down here on Saturday for a 110 double. So the combination of age of both bowlers has to be 110, and both bowlers have to be at least 50 years of age. And then Sunday we go up to Bowmore Lanes in Osage Beach, Bowmore Lanes 2 in Osage Beach, and we have a regular singles open event there. So all 50 and overs, but there's just a regular normal stop. So it'll be here before you know it.
I better get that other camera fixed.
Yep, you better. And again, thank you to all the sponsors: Lisa Finley, Joey Finley, Storm, Face Design, Arthur McCarty Auto Group. Thank you. Did I miss anybody? Who? Berkey Turkeys. Oh yeah, Berkey Turkeys Pro Shop. I think I got them all.
You got them
yeah,
all.
I got them all. Oh, and I Am Jerseys.
Troy.
Yeah, and Troy and Judy, Populars. I mean, everything just really, really good. So thanks to everybody again.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dan. Nice job.
Thank you.
So that's going to do it for another year for the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour. Again, congratulations to Don Breeden for the win. And we'll get this going all again in August, right back here at Lebanon for the doubles, and then up to Osage Beach for the singles. So thanks again for joining us. Troy, thanks for the help. Or Clayton, thanks for the help. Appreciate it. And we'll get everything going again next year. Everyone have a great summer, and we will see you next time in August, on the